Well, we're at St Ninian's Lower School with a group of 40 students, some of whom haven't met each other before, but they're here for a team building exercise because pretty soon they'll all be on a tall ship together. How did all this come about?
We were invited to a meeting that was held at the Children's Centre because John Knight had somehow met a representative of the Tall Ships Youth Trust, I think a chance meeting. They got talking about the Isle of Man, and Chaz Cowell said that he had some bursary money available and it would be very... he'd welcome it if it could be spent through the Isle of Man. So John Knight called a meeting and the schools were invited, St Christopher's, Crossroads Carers, Crews, anyone who had anything to do with supporting children. And at the end of that presentation, which was absolutely fascinating, it became apparent that whilst there were only a small number of bursaries available, we could in fact book the whole ship. And the idea grew from there.
Now, you've got your 40 crew members here, haven't you? How did you select these students?
It was an open selection. We put no criteria out other than they had to be in year 9. And that was for lots of different reasons, to do with their age, to do with exam commitments. And we just thought it was the best age for young people to have that sense of independence, but also an opportunity to get to know other young people from across the Isle of Man. So they had to expressed an interest online, first of all. Then they had to complete an application form and say what they could bring to it. They had to have interviews with their teachers at school, and eventually we whittled it down to the 40 that we needed.
And what are you doing here this afternoon? What does the team building exercise involve?
This is the first time most of the children have met each other because they range from a smaller group from Bala right the way through to a really big group from Castle Rushen. And we've set up a Twitter account and they're part of a Google group, but actually physically meeting each other and getting to know each other, this is the first time. So the idea is to give out their travel gear that the Arts Council has helped us provide. So they've all got hoodies and coats and hats. So hopefully that's going to break the ice. We're going to have a presentation from Harry Martland from the Tall Ships Youth Trust so they can actually see some of the stuff they're going to be doing on board the ship. And then a bit of ice breaking really. Arnie Ladan from Sailing for the Disabled has brought a box full of ropes and they're going to learn to do some knot work together.
So turning to you, Harry, you're a watch leader. You'll be on the tall ship. What will the students be expected to do?
By the end of the week, they will be running the ship. We'll be just looking after them, keeping them safe, and it's up to them. They'll be up the mast. It's 150 foot to the top of the mast. They'll be up the mast, out on the yards, to set the sails, furl the sails. They'll be steering the ship. They'll be learning a little bit of navigation. They will, in fact, be running the ship, and not just sailing. There's a seamanship, obviously, is a major part of this. But it's very much teamwork. If there's one slacker, it makes it hard work for everybody else, so they soon sort out the slackers. And as I say, apart from sailing, they'll be cleaning the ship from stem to stern, they'll be taking turns in the galley, they'll be helping the boatswain on other days. So it's not just sailing, it's down to hard work, teamwork, and building team spirit.
Now, it's a 5-day voyage, I believe. Where are you going?
Oh, wind and tide, I'm afraid, on that one. Very much depends where the weather, which way the winds are blowing, what the tides are doing. Almost certainly we'll be over on the Irish side. But again, until a week on Saturday, that would be very hard to say, or certainly the middle of next week when we can have a look at the weather charts and see what's happening.